I was born and raised in Brazil as a girl with big dreams. My big dreams was to spread the word. I was smart, fun. At a young age, I have my own business. I love to help and contribute to my family. I felt so free. I have deep-seated childhood memories of sexual abuse at 9 to 12 years old. As a man who worked in my father's business approached me outside one day, he asked me to hold his hand. I knew him. I trusted him. He then tight grabbed my hand and threw me in his car. He eventually stopped me to the car and raped me. I felt so broken. My dreams felt so distant and shattered. I became a perfect target to the human trafficking. When I was in my early 20s, I was sold into a human trafficking. A man who came to my community looking for a woman who wanted to earn money for their families. He's required to move to Asia for 3 years. I was so desperate. I knew I had to give my child a better life. He said I ought to have a place to stay and I could send a lot of money to home. He was dressed very professional. He seemed sophisticated, and I agreed to leave my child behind in Brazil. I thought maybe my dreams are coming true now. I was hopeful. I did not want to leave my child. But I thought of all these benefits they would be received from my high earnings. I learned much later he was not a businessman. He was a sophisticated. He was a trafficker. I was being held and hostage, sold in the bondage of labor and sex trafficking. When I arrived in Asia, in the arrivals hall, I heard my name. They turned to see a man who held a sign with the pictures and my name in it. This man was my trafficker. He told me, now I own almost $6,000 for bringing me to Asia, and I had to work for him and other traffickers in order to pay back to debt. I was forced to work 18 hours a day in sweatshop factory. They took me to an underground place where they was made me fake IDs and told me is who I was now. I was weak and I was frail, and we only give me a small meal a day. I was forbidden to talk to anyone, or they put me step outside the factory. I work under high abusive labor conditions. I was forced to work in the factory during the day and under my sex trafficker husband at night. My trafficker held me into all the financial gain. I worked so hard. I was hungry. I was afraid. I didn't really trust anyone. The trafficker told me, if I ever go to the police, they won't believe in me. He said that they knew where my child was in Brazil and where my mother lived, and that I would want them to pay the consequence. That day, I was taken to a human action, just like American slave trade. I was offering to buyers. It was a huge warehouse. There were more than 300 girls between 15 and 25 years. Most of these girls were Russian, but many were from all over the world. That man was big, and they was sit at a big, large table with tattoos all over the body. They sold me to a man who was owning a strip club. The place looked so classy. Actually, but horrible things took place there. They line up us naked with arms open. They burn my face. They burn my face. They put my face and they told me, "You're not gonna do. Today I sell you, and today is supposed to work, and I don't wanna work in there because." And then they burn my face. They burn my face many times, and they put me in refrigerator. And they burn my face, and they put me in refrigerator. They did that many times that day. I have no foods. I can't go to restroom. Sometimes I pee myself. It's a humiliation for you come back there, because they used to tell me, "You place, you here, you here, you no work on factory. You came here to work for prostitution." I was so afraid, but I trust in God. I keep remembering everything my mother taught me about God. My mind keep meditating on the promise of God, with Psalm 91, her favorite scriptures. I was always thinking about my mom, and at that time in my life, I keep hearing her voice and say, "I can do all things to Christ who strengthens me. We can overcome anything by faith." At that point, I faced a significant risk of my health, with only limited access to health care. I never had. This went on 7 months. I thought I was going to die. I thought I would never see my child again. I was sick, with worry about my child in Brazil, and now they didn't know what happened to me. I pray and cry out to the Lord to show me how to break free and how to answer me. One day my body couldn't take it anymore. I passed out and being sick. To my surprise, they sent me to get medical treatment. A Brazilian pastor who did his round at the hospital visited me and prayed over me. He asked for me what really happened. And I opened to him. He was so loving and empathic. He said him could help me. The pastor helped me to plan to escape to the United States. During the time that my mother was away, I was kidnapped and raped. I was walking away from school. A car stopped me and kidnapped me. That day, I fight, I run, I escape. I felt alone. But I knew that I wasn't alone because she taught me about God. She taught me that I was never alone, that I just needs to be strong and courageous too, that one day we would be together again. My relationship with God was grown every day when I was in that experience that things. Every day he comforted me, but I was in that situation to understand that I could bring freedom to others too. As a survivor, I feel now that through bring our shame into light, and we can forgive those people that did bad things to us, our traffickers. For a long time, I was out of fear. I was silent. After years of mental and physical abuse, I felt so lost and broken. I was anxious, depressed. Sometimes I felt my voice had left me. For so long, I felt unable to get out of this hell I was in because of the extreme abuse I endured. I was tired, of everything. When my daughter later shared her abuse story with me, I no longer want to live. I thought, why, Lord? Why I must endure such cruelty in this world? But God rescued me through the pastor. The more I read the Bible, the more I discovered that God loves women just like me. He cares for those who had been scared by the earth. He loved me. I keep meditating Psalm 91. For he shall give me his angel in charge over the tea. He keep thee in all these ways. You see, the key of the libertation is the faith. Faith produces life in praising God. Faith is how we live in victories. Faith is how sustains us. Today I am living proof of survival. I give all the glory to my Father in heaven for rescuing me